Every year, thousands of high school students in the United States visit and tour colleges to gauge their interest in attending. One popular destination is the University of Virginia, Edgar Allan Poe's alma mater.
I'm looking for some college tours.
Where are you looking for?
Probably UVA.
They're a good school. Morning ghosts.
Hi. We're here for the tour.
Oh yes, the tour. We've been waiting for you three. Please, come with me to the back. Let's see. Please, come inside. Okay, your guide will be with you shortly.
Where did he go?
I don't know.
It's been hours.
Let's try the door.
Okay.
It's locked.
The lights won't turn on. Should we ask them for help? Should we scream? Do you have service? No, I don't have any service. Help! Help! What was that?
Kidding me? Are you ready for your tour?
Who are you?
It's me, your guide. Now, before we begin, who knows a lot about me? Edgar Allan Poe.
Me.
What can you tell me about him?
He was one of the greatest poets in all of.
The greatest poet of all time. Alright, if you're ready, follow me to our first stop. Alright, we're here at our very first stop. This is actually Edgar's private owned library, and his favorite book, Elements of Literature. Not many people know this, is right here. Okay, as you know, Edgar Allan Poe is regarded in literature history and handbooks as the architect of the modern short story. His dark style of writing can be attributed to his parents' death when he was only 3 from tuberculosis.
That's depressing.
Well, as a child, his childhood hero was Lord Byron of England, a famous British poet at the time. Clearly, he had an affinity for poetry from a young age. As he grew older, he worked on a tobacco farm and absolutely despised it, and even expressed his extreme hatred in his literature decades later.
Wow, I never knew that.
Follow me, please. Well, even more surprising, he went to college right here at UVA. He is one of our most prestigious alumni.
Wasn't he kicked out though?
Yes, but unfairly. During a time where college was based on wealth instead of intelligence, his peers, were wealthy but ignorant. Meanwhile, he was an elite few that had any sort of smarts, but alas, no money. In order to survive, he had to burn the furniture in the dorm to keep warm, which ended in his expulsion.
Did he ever marry?
Oh, well, good question. Yeah, he actually had a 13-year-old cousin named Virginia that he married. They lived happily, and Edgar particularly liked his vodka a few times a day. But unfortunately, Virginia died of tuberculosis, which spiraled into his alcoholism and depression.
I'm a huge fan of his work. Tell me more.
Well, he demonstrated a brilliant command of language and technique, as well as an inspired and original imagination. Poe's poetry and short stories greatly influenced the French symbolists of the late 19th century, who in turn altered the direction of modern literature. This philosophical and artistic transaction that accounts for much of Poe's importance in literary history. One of his most famous stories, The Black Cat, portrays this gruesome yet brilliant style of work that brought him to the forefront of modern literature.
What's it about?
Funny you ask, because I actually have a short movie trailer to show you.
For the most wild, yet most homely narrative which I am about to pen, I neither expect nor solicit belief. Pluto, this was the cat's name, was my favorite pet and playmate. I alone fed him, and he attended me wherever I went about the house. My pets, of course, were made to feel the change in my disposition. I not only neglected, but ill-used them. But my disease grew upon me. For what disease is like alcohol? I seized him, when, in his fright at my violence, he inflicted a slight wound upon my hand with his teeth. The fury of a demon instantly possessed me. I knew myself no longer. I took from my waistcoat pocket a penknife, opened it, grasped the poor beast by the throat, and deliberately cut one of its eyes from the socket. But this blow was arrested by the hand of my wife. She fell dead upon the spot without a groan. The corpse, already greatly decayed and clotted with gore, stood erect before the eyes of the spectators.
I've stayed too long. I must return.
Where'd he go?
Hello, are you guys ready for your tour?
We've already been on a tour.
With who? Who was your guide?
Ed.
Ed. The only Ed I know is Edgar Allan Poe.
Edgar Allan Poe is a unique writer with a truly fascinating writing style. One of his most famous poems, The Raven, demonstrates just how Poe's mind works. Edgar Allan Poe has had a huge influence on American literature. He's often given credit for inventing modern detective stories. But his stories and poems consist of much more than just a single genre. Edgar Allan Poe has had a huge impact on society. Much of Poe's work was inspired by the events that happened around him. His style of writing is more gruesome and gory. He tends to write about what society usually doesn't shed light on, which is death and other vulgar topics. He focuses on dark topics and turns them into remarkable pieces of literature. Most horror films today can represent Edgar's work because they have the same daunting and mysterious touch to them. Edgar Allan Poe's style of work can be seen in the movie The Conjuring because he doesn't hold back when it comes to appalling and gruesome things like death. His work can also be seen in the TV show Stranger Things because Edgar has a mysterious side to him, as well because his work largely focuses on mystery and eerie feelings.